A lot of people have been asking me about the Gato Squad sticker. I just wanted to show you guys real quick. It looks pretty good. If you guys want one, I'm just selling them at cost, so whatever it costs me to ship and make these. It's about $2 if you live in the US, or $3 if you live internationally, and we'll ship out to you a Gato Squad sticker. Look down below for the information for the PayPal. You can PayPal me at realflyinggato@gmail.com. But like I said, that info is below. If you like one, I will send to you as soon as possible. What is up, Gato Squad? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Elias, and if you are new here and want daily car content, consider subscribing. So it's a beautiful day out here in Pennsylvania. It's a little cold, so I got a little jacket on. But I wanted to talk to you guys about something that I've been meaning to do for a while now, and it's because I keep getting questions on what to do with the manual transmission cars, especially to people that just bought the Type R that have never really driven the manual transmission before. They want to know some tips and tricks on the manual transmission. So I wanted to share with you the 10 things never to do in your manual transmission car. Now, just for some context, I do have a ton of experience driving a manual transmission car. So I've been driving manual transmission since I was 15 years old. So I've been driving manual for 15 years. Half my life I've been in manual transmission cars. My first manual transmission car was a 1990 Honda Civic wagon. It was a gray one, and it was an awesome car. From then on, it was manual transmission or bust. So I had many different cars, and actually I've had a Honda Prelude for about 11 or 12 years now. It's actually my Prelude project car. You'll see more of it soon, hopefully. It's getting some things worked on right now. But the things I've researched and the things I've learned throughout the years, I think are going to serve you pretty well, especially if you want to learn what not to do in the manual transmission car, and how to kind of elongate your manual transmission car's life. So all right, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so let's get started here, and I think it's best for you guys to kind of see what I'm doing, and I can show you what not to do with your manual transmission car. So the first thing you should never be doing with your manual transmission car is launching your car. Now, launching your car is very hard on your transmission, and actually it's very hard on many other things in your car that you may not know of. So everyone knows that launching your car is going to be very hard on your clutch, of course, your clutch and your flywheel, because you're dumping the clutch on a fast moving flywheel, and that's going to cause a lot of extra wear on your clutch. Other things that's hard on is, of course, going to be the drivetrain, the driveline, the actual gears inside the transmission, and even your suspension can suffer a little bit if you launch hard enough. A lot of new cars are being designed to be able to launch numerous times. One of them is the GTR. But I don't know if you guys remember, back when the GTR, the Nissan GTR came out, they would void your warranty for launching your car. And that's crazy to me, because it has a launch mode. It'd be like voiding this car's warranty for taking it out on the track. You know, of course, you can't do any timed events. I'm gonna take this curve really fast here. Yeah, it'd be like voiding the warranty for going fast on a back road here. This car is made for this kind of stuff. So anyway, don't launch your car. Launching your car is really, really bad. Here's an example of launching a car. So the next thing you should never do in your manual transmission car is to skip shifts. Now, what is skip shifting? Now, a lot of cars, especially V8 American cars, actually make you skip shift in order to save gas. Those cars are designed to take it and of course won't cause any damage. But and especially older Hondas, you know, for example the S2000, skip shifting has caused a lot of synchro issues, synchro mesh issues within the transmission. So what is skip shifting? So right now I'm in 4th gear. Let's say I go from 4th gear and I go to 6th gear. That's skip shifting. That's not very good for the synchro, as the transmission is not really designed to kind of deal with going from 4th to 6th, especially if you're driving fast. If you're driving fast and you want to slow down, take it to the next gear, let go of the clutch, then the next gear, let go of the clutch. That way you're not that hard on your synchros. Now, you know, like I said, on the S2000s especially, those synchros take a beating. Let's say you're going from 2nd gear all the way up to 4th gear by skipping 3rd, and you're driving fast. Those RPMs are going to be really, really high, and then you put it in 4th, you're basically wearing out that 4th gear synchro faster than normal. This next one I've been guilty of, and a lot of people that I know are guilty of this. And the next one is, do not rest your hand on the gear shift knob. Resting your hand on the gear shift knob is an issue because as you rest your hand on there, it actually wears out, prematurely wears out, the shift collar. Basically this is connected to a linkage that's connected to the transmission, and if you press on it enough, you kind of, you know, inadvertently you're going to be moving it around a little bit, and if you move that around without pressing the clutch in, it will wear out the shift collar. That's something you really don't want to do for the longevity of transmission, because if you wear out the shift collar, your shifts get sloppier and sloppier, and eventually you're gonna have to replace that, and it's very, very expensive to replace. Okay, so the next thing you shouldn't do in your manual transmission car is to rest your foot on the clutch pedal. Now, I've seen actually people do that. You know, my dad actually used to do that every once in a while in his old manual transmission cars, and that's actually really, really bad for the clutch, because as you're resting your foot on there, you're inadvertently putting pressure on that clutch pedal, and it lifts up the clutch a little bit, but that little bit is causing an immense amount of extra wear that you shouldn't be putting on your clutch. Instead of resting your foot on your clutch pedal, you should be resting it in the dead pedal all the way to the left, or just keep your foot off the clutch unless you're using it. That's a very good habit to be in. This next one I can show you right now. So I'm at a stop sign, there's nobody around me, and instead of leaving my car in gear, so that'd be in gear right now, you should leave your car in neutral and let go of the clutch. Now if you leave your car in gear, I used to do this actually in my Prelude, and it actually wore out my throwout bearing faster than normal. So that's exactly what it does. If you leave your car in gear and you put the clutch in and you're waiting at a stoplight forever, let's say 2 or 3 minutes each, or a minute and a half, every time you do that, you're wearing out that throwout bearing faster than it normally would. So what to do when you're at a stoplight? Always put your car in neutral, let go of the clutch pedal, and as soon as the light goes green, you put the clutch in, you grab first, and then you go. That's something I wish I would have known 10 years ago. It would have saved me from a clutch replacement, an early clutch replacement on my Prelude. Now this next one is kind of in the same vein as that. You know, as you're coasting to a stop, I recommend leaving the car in gear. Now that's for a couple of reasons. Main reason is to leave your car in gear while you're coasting is that you're saving on gas. So let's say, you know, I see a stoplight up ahead or a stop sign, I want to brake, so I'll drop it into third, and then I'll coast with third on. That way the fuel injectors will actually turn off and will save some gas, and you'll get some engine braking, so you'll be saving your brakes as well. It's just a really good habit to stay in. You know, actually when I started driving manual cars, as soon as I saw a stoplight, I would put it in neutral, let go of the clutch, and just kind of coast my way out to the end. Never a good idea to do that. You know, it's not bad per se on the clutch or anything like that. It's just not the best way to come to a stop. Now, similar to the previous one, this next one is very similar. As you're coming to a halt, don't leave the clutch pedal pressed in. So as you coast down, let's say I'm coasting and I want to put it in neutral for whatever reason, I'll put it in neutral, let go of the clutch, and coast that way. It's never a good idea to coast with the clutch pedal down. That actually causes some extra wear in the clutch, and it wears out your throwout bearing more than usual. You really should be, whenever you go to the clutch, you really should be either changing it into neutral or changing it into gear. Otherwise, stay away from that clutch. Now this next one's a little bit more difficult to kind of explain, and you know, it's easy to kind of talk about, but it's difficult for me to actually do because I've stopped slamming my gears a long time ago. So yes, this next one is do not slam your gears, and it's very important because slamming your gears causes undue stress on the transmission and does wear out your synchros faster. So what is slamming gears? Well, let me try to show you here. I'll do it once or twice. I'll show you guys as demonstration. Let me just crest over this hill first. Whee! Oh shit! We went airborne. Oh, that was fun. Don't go airborne either. It's not good. Anyway, so slamming gears. What is slamming gears? So I'm going in second, and that's third, right? So that kind of slam gears there. Here's another example. I want to go to fourth. I just slam the gear there really fast, really hard, really fast, without taking any consideration of how the synchro is doing. So what I like to do when I shift gears, even when I'm driving fast, is I kind of like to feel out how the gear is going into position. So let's say I'm in third gear, and I kind of softly put it in fourth. I did it quickly, but I didn't slam it in. Slamming gears is never good for the transmission. It causes, like I said, it wears out your synchros, and it actually wears out your drive line if you have a rear-wheel drive car or four-wheel drive car. You know, it does shock the system when you do that. So that's something to keep in mind. Now we're coming to the end here, so we have two more, and the next one is don't downshift without rev matching. Now I've seen a lot of people do it, downshift. You know, most people actually that I know that own manual transmission cars don't bother rev matching when they downshift. So what does downshifting without rev matching look like? So I'm in fourth gear right now. I'll put it in fourth without rev matching, and I'll let go of the clutch and put it in second without rev matching, and you'll see the car kind of bucks and stuff like that. People are used to it. You know, some people that are good at doing that, they'll let go of the clutch slowly. But what that does is it actually wears out your synchros a little bit faster, but more than that, it wears out, that's a big beehive, wow. Sorry, got a little, wow, that's the biggest beehive I've ever seen. Sorry, so what that does is, so it wears out your clutch a lot more than anything else. Now, what is the proper way to downshift? So I'm in second gear, let's put it in third. Let's say I want to downshift, I flip the throttle, and now I'm in second gear. Now that helps out the synchro, it helps out the clutch, and it gives you a smooth transition into that previous gear. It's very important to learn how to do that, especially when you're on a track, because you don't want to be downshifting into a gear without rev matching, because it'll unsettle the car and you could have a crash. Luckily, a lot of new cars that are coming out, especially the sports cars like the 370Z and this Type R, have an auto rev match feature that'll auto blip throttle for you, so you don't have to actually learn how to do it. But it is actually fun to do, and once you get to do it, you really don't want to stop. That's why I've turned my system off. I do my own rev matching because it's just fun to do. And there's the other example again. Every time I stop, I use rev matching. And now we've gotten to the final one. Don't lug your engine. What does that mean? So lugging your engine basically means you're, let's say I put it in fifth gear or sixth gear here, and you know, I'm going 37 miles an hour, the RPMs are really, really low, and I want to accelerate. Well, what should I do? What I should do is downshift down to probably fifth or fourth or even third. But what some people do, what I've seen people do, is actually accelerate, and that's what's lugging the engine. You're accelerating, and especially on a turbocharged car, that's actually really, really bad, because it can cause an overboost issue where the turbo boost will get maximum, but the engine's not really revved up enough to kind of take advantage of that boost. In EcoBoost Ford Mustangs and even the Ford Focus RS, I've heard of a lot of people having issues with lugging their engines and having their engines blow. So it's definitely something you don't want to do. You know, I'm sure Honda has put safeguards in place to keep this engine from doing that. I know for a fact in the Civic Hatch Sport and all in the 1.5Ts that the turbo won't actually start spooling up until it gets after a certain RPM range. So that's something really cool that that they have, but it does reduce performance on the low end. But as a protection, they do that. Now, if you do it a lot, like I said, it can be really, really bad for your engine, and it's something you really shouldn't do. So what is the proper way to accelerate the car is to make sure you're in the proper gear and go. Alright guys, so that pretty much wraps it up there. I hope you really enjoyed the video. I enjoyed making it for you. The reason I actually put this video together is because I had so many questions from so many people on how to properly drive a manual transmission car. People that are new to manual transmission cars, or they haven't had one for over 10 or 15 years, they kind of want to know, hey, what are the tips and tricks to kind of make this manual transmission car last me for years and years and years. So I was more than happy to put that together for you guys. And if you have any questions at all, you can send to me via email, realflyinggodzo@gmail.com, or you can send it to me. You can put it in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer you there. Or I could even answer them through my Facebook or Instagram. I get a lot of requests through Instagram and things like that. So I'm more than happy to talk to you guys pretty much anywhere. I'm glad you guys are asking me questions because it allows me to make these videos. Alright guys, so as always, if you haven't yet, please go ahead and subscribe. Like the video if you liked it, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.